What is up, Eastern Oregon? This is Dodzy with EOAlive Sports, and today I have something special for you. With the changing of the tide at EOU football, as most of you know, head coach Tim Camp was out, and we have a new coach. And so it's a brand new era for EOU football. Not only do we have a new head coach, we have a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator as well. So I said, what better than to bring them all three into the studio and sit down with each one of them. This is all brought to you by Buffalo Peak Golf Course out in Union. Go check them out. Dana and his team have done a spectacular job with the course. They're having tournaments every weekend throughout the golf season, and the pro shop looks phenomenal. Buffalo Peak Golf Course. Meet me at the peak. We're going to start it off with head coach Solo Taylor. Here it is. You were a all-conference player. You wore the legacy number, coaching right afterwards as a grad assistant, moved into the defensive coordinator role, and now the head coach. Quick.
Yeah, certainly happened pretty fast.
But, what was that experience like? It seems like I think I looked up like NAIA coaches, like average age, and you're like 10 years below it.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Things happen certainly pretty quick when it comes to all that stuff. But as far as the experience, kind of getting thrown into the fire early on, being a defensive coordinator within my first 3 years of coaching ball, you got to kind of learn on the fly and be adjustable and be able to adapt. So that was kind of a skill that I had to take on pretty quickly in my coaching career. And something I think that's, kind of helped me get to where I am now, right? Kind of like a football game, right? First quarter things are working, second quarter things don't. Now what are you going to do, right? And kind of taking that mentality, just that everything we do day to day right now. We're doing the same thing with our fall camp right now with the smoke coming in and the heat and all that stuff. Like being able to adjust and adapt on the fly was a skill that I had to learn early on as a football coach. And kind of one of the things I think has prepared me for this role here. And I was also surrounded, by quality football coaches during my time as, a player, whether it was, growing up in high school, during my time at Boise State here at Eastern Oregon. I had good mentors and people around me that, prepared me to be able to get into the role that I am now. I couldn't be more excited for it. So.
Good. So let's just talk about that legacy number real fast before we move on. Do you have something in mind? Is it going to stay?
Yeah, no, it will.
It will
stay. Kind of one of the biggest things as well to it is, I get it, some people will say a number is just a number. But to those boys in that locker room, it's not.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Especially that number.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important that the guy that is in there is the guy that truly owns our identities, Mountie through and through, all those type of things, and a guy that's consistently done things the right way since he's been here. So for us this year, that's going to be a Nehemiah Madrano, plays inside linebacker for us, was an all-conference player for us last year. But he's kind of the mold as far as, the type of player that we're looking for here at Eastern Oregon, right? Obviously, he's a heck of a football player, but just the quality of human being he is as well, too, is A+. We couldn't be more excited to kind of rally behind him and that number and keep that thing going with this upcoming season.
So let's talk about what's changed and what's still staying the same from the camp era to the Solo Taylor era. I'll rattle a couple things off, and you just tell me. Bob Seger.
Bob Seger?
Yeah.
You're talking about Bob Seger pregame?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be hearing Bob Seger
It's gone.
pregame anymore.
It's gone.
Yeah. No, and
we can safely say it's gone.
Yeah. No, you won't be hearing Bob Seger. And I'm a Bob Seger fan, but
Okay. And then what about the hard hat?
Hard hat will have something a little bit different for the hard hat this year. You'll see it week 1. Yeah.
It's a surprise.
Yeah.
Okay. What about so your coaching style? I don't want to compare you to Coach Camp. I just want to know what's your mold? What's your most important things on Solo Taylor's list for players?
For players?
Yeah, absolutely.
Number one is the relationship aspect. When we talk about as far as bringing guys into our program and the type of player that we're looking for guys that can play for the guy next to them, right? It's easy to be the guy that's excited when you're the one making the plays, but looking for guys that are going to celebrate the same way when their teammate makes that same play.
Yeah.
Right, so guys that can truly play for the guy next to them and be willing to build those relationships with their teammates and their coaches. That was one of the things we looked for in these coaches as well too, who could do that with the players and the rest of our staff. But I think those type of things are important when we're talking about the type of player that we're bringing in, because I mean, it doesn't matter how big and strong you are if you're not willing to go tackle a 230-pound running back in the A gap when you're dog tired. In those critical situations, I think you're able to find guys that are willing to do that for the guys next to them. Those type of teams rise. So those are the type of guys that we're looking for. As far as, you know, the identity, the makeup that we look for with guys, we kind of break it down to, you know, his wiring. You know, how does this guy think? Is he a competitor? Those type of things. Academically, you know, is Eastern Oregon going to be a good fit for him? Right? Or does he, you know, not only meet the requirements academically as far as our academic standards, but is Eastern Oregon the type of place that's going to prepare him for his future when it comes to those things academically? Does he have a plan after college? And then character. Like I said, I mentioned Nehemiah Madrano, just an A-plus quality human being, those type of things. And I can keep going, but, you know, as far as, you know, like an identity makeup, and, you know, we're looking for this as far as like our overall team, but from an individual standpoint as well too. Guys that have consistent energy, guys that are disciplined. You got to be tough to play this game. But when, you know, I'm talking about toughness, I'm not talking about you know, how things are going when things are easy. I'm more so looking for how you respond to difficult situations. So guys that have the right response when things go wrong, because that's the thing about football, man. It's a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster game, roller coaster season. You got to be able to have the right response when things don't go your way. Be able to line up again and say, bet you can't do it again.
Absolutely.
And then the last one, finish, right? Have the ability to finish. Anything you start, you finish it. Building that momentum, and when it gets time to make the play, right?
Yeah. College age, like that's probably the biggest, you know, speed bump for college age people is finishing. I would say. I mean, because they're just, you know, they're at that age and at that point in life when there's still a lot of variables and a lot of question marks in the air, and finishing is just a huge thing. I mean, across the board, not just on the football field. Finishing that degree, finishing whatever, you know what I mean? It's just, it's a tough thing. So finding those kind of guys, I'm sure, is like super important.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What about like with the offense and the defense? Obviously, you're a defensive dude. How hands-on are you going to be? Like, you know what I mean? Like with the defensive scheme, play calling, you know, like are you going to just kind of lay back and let the defensive coordinator do that, or are you gonna be a more hands-on coach?
I mean, defensively, I'll still be coaching our linebackers. You know, we got a good, solid crew there, and a group that's developed a lot over the last couple years. So I'm really excited to get those guys back this year. And then, you know, as far as scheme, I mean, I'll have a hand in everything when it comes to all that type of stuff. But you know, we hired the coordinators that we have here for a reason, because I trust these guys, and they've been proven to be able to do these type of things. So, you know, I think for my role as the head coach is to empower these guys and put them in positions where, you know, they feel prepared, they feel supported, and, you know, we got the bits and pieces on the football field to be able to go to execute what we want to do. So,
yeah, for sure.
You know, I mean, you know, I won't be bashful as far as like if I think there's something that we should do defensively or anything. But like I said, you know, a lot of the defensive success that we had last year, you know, that started a couple years ago as far as what we were able to build that thing into. And that defensive coordinator was their defensive coordinator then, is now our defensive coordinator again. Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm super excited about it. And then Coach Avina has done a fantastic job since he's gotten here. I mean, he got here in April. We had probably 4 days in a meeting, and then we started spring ball. And watching those guys kind of buy into what we're doing from a schematic standpoint, but more importantly, the identity of what we want to be offensively has been really fun. And I think those guys are having a lot of fun on offense right now as well too. And it's been really cool to watch those guys grow. And we still got a long ways to go. But as far as some of those things from, you know, an identity standpoint that we're looking for in our players, we're starting to see those guys buy into that, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
I love that. And you'll find out as you get older, the more you empower people, like the better they perform most of the time. You know what I mean? The more they give you. You empower your employees, they're willing to run into a wall for you, essentially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so important in not just in sports, not just in jobs, in life. Like your friends, you empower your friends, they do more for you. I mean, it's just how it works. What about, so one of the big questions is like, what would you consider, and I don't care per se, like record, but what would you consider to be a decent season this year for you?
Yeah, we want to be competitive.
Yeah.
And I said this when I took this job. When I'm talking about being competitive, I'm talking about consistently competitive, not just a flash in a pan year and then a down year and then a good year and anything like that.
Which is what the past has pretty much
yeah,
been.
for sure. But something where we're setting ourselves up where we want to be competitive, we want to win games, right? Obviously. But something as well too that we can say that this isn't just a flash in the pan thing. This is something that can be consistent dominance. Because I believe I wouldn't have taken this job if I didn't think this, right? Like you can build that here at Eastern Oregon. You can within our football program. If you look at our athletic department and all the success that we've had right there, I don't think there's anything that's stopping football from being able to do the same thing.
Well, my opinion on that, it's all about recruiting. You know that. I've told you that numerous times. It's the hardest team in the conference probably to recruit to. Honestly, just, geographical location. Now, you have some of the best entities. You have one of the best weight rooms in the conference, if not the best. You have the indoor field house now. You have a great stadium. But, like, just geographically, you have to find those certain guys that want to be outside or it doesn't work.
Yeah, no, for sure. And there's certainly, from a geographical standpoint as well, too, right? Like, we tell guys we're not in the middle of nowhere, right? We're not in a massive town. We're not in a miniature town by any means, right? So, but what I do find a lot is even when guys don't know a whole bunch about LeGrand, don't know a whole bunch about this community, Eastern Oregon, whatever, and they come here, they end up liking it.
Yeah,
they end up liking it. And the reason I can say that is because at one point I was one of those guys when I came here to play, right? So. And obviously my sister was playing volleyball here, but kind of the same thing, right? You get into this community and how tight knit it is, and how well we support each other in this community, our athletic department and everything right there. Pretty quickly it starts to feel like home, right? And the other thing as far as recruiting and all that type of stuff goes is, just having the relentless mindset when it comes to those type of things. Like there's no fish that we feel like is too big for us. We're going to take our shot and go get the right guys and get the guys that we need to win football games, right? Yeah. And I feel like we brought a good crew of those guys in this last recruiting class, and I think there's some evidence in there that you can do that here at Eastern Oregon. But it comes down to as well too that you might have to put a little extra legwork into it than maybe some other places right there from the relationship standpoint, right? Because I get guys here. I think you mentioned our weight room. We have our new field house. We've got great facilities right there.
Really do.
But at the end of the day, my opinion has always been like anywhere you go that's got those type of things, they're going to show them to you. Right? Like you look at our fancy uniforms, look at our weight room. At the end of the day, what makes the place special is not the fancy uniform, it's the guy in it, right? And the guy in the headset. So that's been another big thing that's been, had a lot of success with us in our recruiting is, we get them here, get them in the area and everything, get them around our guys. Right, get them around our guys right here. And talk about playing for each other. Actually, feel what that feels like. I think you find you get a lot of the guys that you're looking for when you can do that.
Yeah, that checks out. All right, last question. Say I sit down with any of your players at the end of the season. What's the one thing you want them to say about you? If I ask them, how'd it go with Coach Taylor this year? What do you want them to say?
I gave him everything I got. I had told him that when I took this job. I told him that at the start of fall camp. I'll give him everything I got. Whether that's, long hours in the meeting room or whatever, anything like that, I'll give him everything I got. I think that'd be the biggest one.
I love that.
That, in doing it, Because obviously I'm a competitor and I want to win, but also because I care.
Yeah.
That's another big reason why I took this job is I do care about these guys in this locker room. And they deserve to be winners, and they can be. So I'm gonna give them everything I got.
I love that. Eastern Oregon, he's EOU head football coach. I'm not even gonna say new anymore. You've been here for long enough now that it's not new anymore. Solo Taylor, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach Taylor. I appreciate it. I mean, as most of you guys know, I've been following Coach Taylor since his playing days. He's been on my show as a player numerous times, and now he's moved through the ranks of coaching, and he's the top dog at EOU football now. Next up, he's new to Eastern Oregon, and he brings some new ideas and a lot of just freshness to the Eastern Oregon offense. He's new offensive coordinator, Miguel Avina. Miguel Avina, how are you?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Good. So how'd you get here?
So was looking kind of the last place I was at, looking to kind of take the next step in my career and be a offensive coordinator. Saw that Eastern Oregon needed one and, applied and talked to Coach Taylor and, here we are now.
What's that process like? So say you see it on the computer, right? You're online, you see Eastern Oregon has a offensive coordinator job. Just describe the process a little bit. Like, so you apply, they call you, what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I applied and, for me, it was really just finding the right opportunity, right? At the end of the day, I'm looking for a new place to call home and stuff like that, but I got to be around the right people, right? Take my wife somewhere where we feel comfortable being. But when I talked to Coach Taylor the first time, shoot, man, it was awesome. We talked for an hour. Not only talked about ball, but got a chance to talk about life, get to know each other too, right? And, I felt like, it was a great conversation. And, I'm big into my faith, man, and praying for the right opportunity and the right people to be around. And I felt like that was with Coach Taylor, man. And so, we had the phone interview and then did the Zoom interview. That went really well. It was awesome to kind of go through that process and everything. And then got a chance to come to LeGrand, and it was snowing when I got here. And so I'm a California kid, man, where it's 120-degree heat, and I was definitely introduced to that, and it was awesome just getting a chance to interview in person, get a chance to meet Coach Taylor and the rest of the team, and meet the guys. And honestly, man, it was a group that I can see that was hungry and wanting for an offense to really honestly just believe in them and allow them to go play, right? And we got a chance to do the walkthrough in the snow and everything. It was a cool opportunity to be here and see that for the first time in person.
You have a tall job ahead of you. This offense has been very inconsistent over the last 10 years, maybe even more than that actually. Right. But it's like, it's been like little flashes of greatness, but nothing consistent. Right. What's your plan? Like, how are you going to keep it consistent in the offensive room?
I think the first thing that I kind of thought of when I was, interviewing for the job, was belief, right? At the end of the day, I got to get our guys on our side of the ball to believe in what we're doing as coaches, right? And, I told them the first day, man, like, if you don't believe we can go be the number one offense in the country, then you shouldn't be in this room, right? Because that's the standard that I have for us, right? And I think we can do that, right? Obviously, it's going to take some time to build and everything, but you got to have that mindset from the jump. And, I told them too, right? For them to believe in that, we got to show them something to believe in, right? And, I think we did that over the course of the spring. And, the biggest thing is just to continue to develop, right? I think, watching the film from even last year, man, a lot of the guys that are coming on this team right now are all coming back, right? And I think the biggest thing is we have the right players. Now it's putting in the right system and then believing in that system, right? And man, you can just see it over the course of the spring, man. These guys just getting more and more and more confidence in each other. And, our offense is about playing fast and playing free, and you can see that with those guys, right? They're just going out there and having fun now, man. They're celebrating each other's accomplishments. They're celebrating each other's touchdowns, right? And my biggest thing for us is about process over results, right? Like, we live in such a results-oriented world nowadays that, you got to win now. You got to put up 500 yards of offense now, right? But at the end of the day, the process needs to be the first thing, right? Those results are going to happen. Even if, for us, man, we drop a 70-yard touchdown, but, man, we went through the right process of getting off press release, getting out there and getting open. That's going to happen. The result's going to come, So that's
when you talk about result driven. Unfortunately, fans are 100% result driven. Like
Right.
you know, they don't care about the process as much.
Mm-hmm.
Not unless you're nerdy like me. But most fans are like, either you got to win.
Right. No, absolutely. And I think the biggest thing, man, like I think we, talking to our guys and Coach Taylor and the rest of the staff, man, we got the people in the building to go do it now, right? Like, I don't think, there's no reason why we can't go win a conference championship right now. Why we can't go be in the playoffs and go compete for a national championship right now, right? Like we got the people in the building to go and do that. And, I think our process keeps coming. I think that's going to show on Saturdays.
That's a great mindset to have. What about let's backtrack a little bit. Tell me about you as a player. Where did you play? What did you do?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Indio, California, right? Played at La Quinta High School, started there for 3 years, and then went to college at Whittier College out in LA.
Yep.
Started there for 4 years. Then that's when I started coaching. Really wanted to kind of get into college football. Didn't work out to start. Started coaching high school football, had the opportunity to be the OC there, and then got a volunteer opportunity at Austin Peay State University as a recruiting intern for a couple months, and then got the graduate assistant job as the quarterbacks GA under Scotty Walden, and then I've been with that head coach for the past 4 years now. So was there at Austin Peay, then got to UTEP where I got promoted to quarterbacks coach the past year and everything, and then like I said, got the opportunity to be here at Eastern Oregon now.
So when it comes to recruiting, what's your number one priority? Like, what are you doing? What are you saying to the guys?
Yeah, recruiting here, man. Like, we talked about it earlier, man. Like, we got to have the right guys here, right? That want to be here, right? Like, you're not gonna. It's not the thing about it, man. It's a tight knit community here, right? It's a fishing, hunting community, right? And like, I kind of like that, right? It attracts a different breed of kids, right?
Yeah.
And that mentality is kind of what I'm looking for from us offensively, right? Like guys, skill guys, it's all about speed for me, man. I want to find guys that can run fast and blow by people, right? Up front, I want to find guys that move people and are physical up front, right? Like, I kind of learned this term from my past staff, but like earth movers up front, right? They're moving guys, they're dominating guys, they got something mean about them, nasty about them. And then from the quarterback position, man, like we got to have guys that are tough, right? Make great decisions, but can improvise as well, right? Make things happen when things do break down, right? And then same thing with the running backs, man, guys that can hit home run balls, right? Obviously, you got to kind of find, you're going to find your thumpers and everything in between, but I want guys that score touchdowns, not get me 10 yards, 4 yards, whatever it may be. I want touchdowns at the end of the day.
So in the coaching world, if you could sit down and have a conversation with an offensive-minded coach, who would it be?
Ooh, man. Ooh, I'm going to go Cliff Kingsbury.
Okay, why?
I love the style that he teaches. The kind of the where the offense that we run that I've gotten it from is actually started with him, right? My past head coach, Coach Walden, learned it from him, and he's always kind of passed along things. They're really close friends, and they go and network together and get together and share ideas, and that's kind of a guy, man, I would love to just sit down and watch how his mind thinks and how he breaks down football, how he teaches his position groups. And shoot, man, he's doing a great job where he was at, right, with the Commanders now. And shoot, man, he's got that offense up and running like no other.
Nice. Even before he became a Charger coach, I'm a McDaniel dude. Like I love his, not just his football approach, but just his swagger too. Like he's got that.
Yeah.
He's fun. He's young enough that he can really connect with a lot of the guys, and I think that's super important when it comes to being successful.
No, absolutely. I'm a Dolphins fan, so we were with him, and it's like you said, man. I think that's the most important thing, right? Being able to connect with your guys, right? And us on offense, man, we're young, we're gonna be high energy, right? But I think the most important thing is be able to have those relationships when you can't coach your guy hard if you don't have a relationship with him.
No.
At the end of the day, right?
It doesn't work.
And for us, man, like, shoot, we got to be coaches. It says coach on our deal, like Coach Taylor likes to always say, but like we're there for those guys 24/7, man. Whenever those guys need, we're gonna be there. So
I love that. So let's end it with this one. What's a successful season for Miguel Avina?
For us, man, when I went through this interview process, I wrote 2016 on my script, right? 2016 is the one thing I talk about. If you look at 2016, that's the last time this place averaged 30 points a game on offense, right? 2016, semifinal run, right?
Yeah.
You know, for us on offense, man, yeah, it's about being competitive and going out there and letting defenses know that Eastern Oregon is not just a defensive school, right? Like I like tell guys all the time, let's add on to that. Now let's go freaking have an offense and a defensive freaking school, right? Because at the end of the day, I want defenses to know they're going to get their freaking mouth punched for 4 quarters by us every single play.
Which that will help the defense as well, as you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, for us, man, it's just establishing our identity at the end of the day, being a bold offense, an explosive offense, and a physical offense, right? Bold meaning like fearless approach for us, right? Like we're not going to fear any defense. We're going to go out there and swing our sword and call it a day, right? And hopefully we end up on the right side of the scoreboard, and then explosive through the pass game and through the run game, and then physically dominate you for 4 quarters, right? Like for us, it's dominating up front, dominating at the receiver position, right? Yeah, it's an offense that's going to throw the ball down the field and have some flash, but at the end of the day, our receivers are going to block, right? They're going to put you and let those corner know that it's going to be a long day, and then our quarterbacks and running backs, man, they're going to freaking run hard and let you know that it's going to be a long game. So,
love it. Eastern Oregon, he's EOU offensive coordinator Miguel Avila. Thanks, Miguel. I appreciate it. Man, let's go. This offense needs to get turned around at EOU, and you know, I'm seriously hoping that you're the dude that's going to help that happen. Finally, he's an Eastern Oregon native. He has, grew up out in Embler. I coached him when he was a kid. He's been around here. He went off and played football at Pacific University, has coached numerous places, including EOU 2 times in the past. He's been a GA and a defensive coordinator at EOU, and now he's back. Bryan Mills, here it is. Bryan, how are you?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you having us out here.
Why? Like, what? Stint number 3, why'd you come back?
Well, to be honest with you, like Eastern Oregon University, I'm the one person in my family that didn't actually play a sport there, right? But
very true.
I did grow up. I mean, I was the little kid in the tailgate back when the tailgate area was behind that end zone right there. I know you remember that, right?
Of course.
Throwing the Nerf ball, the whole thing. I looked up to every single Mountaineer player that came through here in the past, So the Eastern Oregon University has always had a special place in my heart. And to be honest with you too, like the other coaches have talked about, like we want to win. There's still some things that can get accomplished here with Eastern Oregon football that's never been done in the past, And when I was here in 2016, like seeing the effect that a winning football program had on a community.
It's crazy, huh?
Oh man, it is. And so we want to make that a consistent thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, when I always say when you're the moneymaker at a school, which is almost always football, there's just a lot of responsibility. But if you handle it and you can win games, you move to the top really fast. And I'm not talking to the top in win-loss. I'm just talking to the top of people's hearts, really. You know what I mean? They get super excited about it. But if you're not winning, it just becomes kind of low, and people just are, so that you just don't have the same amount of influence and not even influence, but just you don't bring the same buzz.
Mm-hmm. No, that's completely fair. And you look across the board as far as Eastern Oregon athletics goes, and it's a very high standard.
Oh yeah.
As far as wins and losses goes. So now it's our turn to consistently get on that level.
So what'd you do when you were gone? You were gone for what, the last 4 years?
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
What
were you doing?
2. So I actually had a work from home gig where I was still kind of involved with the game a little bit. With a college recruiting company, helping kids try and get to the next level who, don't really know what to do in the recruiting world, which I know for me, coming from Embler, an 8-man school, I had no idea what to do as far as how to get recruited, things of that nature. So that's what I did the last few years. Obviously, stayed in consistent contact with Coach Taylor. We were texting, talking before and pretty much after every ball game as well. And then one of the main reasons too that I did choose to step away was I got to spend a lot of time with my newborn daughter, who now is 4 years old and getting ready to start school here.
Yeah, the most important time, like it's huge. So let's talk about that real fast. Let's just get the monkey off the shoulder. The whole nepotism part, and I hate to bring this up, but I feel like I have to, because it's something that concerns me too. Accountability is tough in the real world. Do you see like any problems with accountability? Because Solo's your Coach Taylor is your brother-in-law, and that could, you know what I mean? Like, that's something that I've thought about, is like, is there going to be any issues with accountability?
No, I mean at the end of the day, like we both have the same logo, across the front of our chest, and we both want the same things. And I mean, since I've left, Coach Taylor was my linebackers coach, and since I've left, I mean, he's advanced the standard of Eastern Oregon defense here. So at this point, like, we're bouncing ideas off each other, building off of each other, and things of that nature. And as far as accountability goes, like, he's the head coach, I'm the defensive coordinator, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
So, if we get in a situation and the head coach says we're doing this, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
What about reverse though? Because I'm a firm believer that coaching, the coaching staff under the head coach have a responsibility to the head coach to hold him accountable too. Mm-hmm. No problems there?
Oh, believe me. I mean, like I said, Coach Taylor was all-conference linebacker when I was the defensive coordinator here. He's heard me yell at him several times before, so that I don't think that would be a foreign feeling to either of us, either.
Yeah, well, that really was my biggest concern. I'm not going to lie, and I have faith in it 100%. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to hear it out of the horse's mouth. Like, yeah, we're going to hold each other accountable 100%, because when it comes down to it, that's something that I've heard, like, not this situation, but I've heard fans in the past say things about holding coaches accountable, and it's important to people. What about defensive wise? What's your idea for, are you running with the same as the past, or is there some new stuff? Or
yeah, a little bit of both. We're not going to fix what's not broken.
Right.
So we're not going to fix what's not broken, and our mantra hasn't really changed. Like, we're much less focused on what we're doing X and O wise, and more focused on how we're doing it. So the mentality when we take the football field, we want to be great in the fundamentals of defensive football, swarming the football, getting 11 guys there, having the ability to get off blocks, having the ability to tackle ball carriers, play the football in the air. We spend a large majority of our time trying to master and be great at those things, because at the end of the day, like I said, man, there's a lot of defensive schemes out there, but it's much more so about how you're playing the game than actually what you're doing. So that's kind of, especially here in the beginning of fall camp, what we're focused on.
Okay, so you worked in the recruiting world, which has changed enormously since I was, thinking about playing sports anywhere. Walk me through like a successful recruit trip for you, like, or you have a kid in. How do you determine this? Obviously, if they commit, but give us an idea what it looks like.
Yeah, so for us, like kind of Coach Taylor was talking about, we want to figure out these kids' wiring a little bit. I tell kids, when we talk to them, like, I want to find out everything I absolutely can about you as a person. We've seen your film already. That's why we're on the telephone right now. Right. But I want to find out everything I can about you as a person, and I expect you to do the same thing to us, right? As coaches, as a university, things of that nature. And then when they get to campus, one of the big things that we got going for us is the people that are already here. You could talk to our current roster. We actually did this the other day on defense, had everybody introduce themselves, where they're from, woo-wop, but also let us know why you chose EOU. Because that is the one thing we all have in common right now is, we did choose EOU, why? And a large portion of those guys talked about the reason they chose Eastern Oregon University is because of the people. They get to spend time with our current roster. They get to spend time with our coaching staff. And at the end of the day, that's what matters.
That's funny, because I end every single interview with an EOU athlete that I've ever done with, pretend that that I'm a senior in high school, recruit me to Eastern Oregon, which is essentially the same question as why you chose EOU. Like, it's because of the people. It's always the same stuff. It's the community. It's the school, the tightness of the athletic department. What's your favorite part about Eastern Oregon?
Oh man, I could go on and on. I mean, this is home for me. My favorite part about Eastern Oregon, probably I could say the same thing the rest of those guys do.
Yeah.
You know, the people out here are absolutely outstanding. You know, there's a lot of football lovers out here, and it's the people that make a place what it is.
Yeah, there's a lot more football lovers than people realize. Like, I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
And that's part of the goal, right? Like, with success comes getting more people out there to community stadium on Saturdays.
Absolutely. Like I said, man, in 2016, this town there was a buzz around here like there never was.
I mean, a great way to look at it is like, look at volleyball. I mean, or softball even. Like, you look at softball when Nicole first took over, right? There was like 7 people there. You know what I mean? And EOU wasn't even sending out a sports information person to take pictures. It was only me.
Now cars are lining the road.
Now it's, and I hate to say it, but that's what winning does. It's just reality.
No question.
Successful season for you this year, what does it look like?
Successful season for us is we're going to win football games. You know, at the end of the day, like, this isn't an offense defense. We're Eastern Oregon University football team, and we want to win football games.
Yeah. And well, when I look at it, like, I think the biggest thing that needs to happen is give the defense a little bit more of a break. Like, and you do that with offense, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I feel like in the past, the defenses had to be on the field way too much.
Mm-hmm. And that's probably fair to say, but. You know, like what I've been telling our guys is the past is the past. You know, every season we're going to start from square one as far as building our foundation. You know, because you're at the college level, you're bringing in a whole new group of guys every year, right? And we have to figure out can these guys fit into what we're doing culturally, standard-wise, everything. Right. You know, we recruited them here for a reason, but at the end of the day, like, you know, it's going to be the players on the field making the plays, right? So that's. We restart every year. You know, I've told those guys what happened last year happened. You know, they were one of the best defenses in the country, but that's over.
Right.
You know, Jason Grant's gone. Josiah Ross is gone. Sam Cadenas is gone. You know, so it starts over every year from square one as far as building our foundation, what's important to us, and again, that comes back to how we're playing the game.
I like that. I like that a lot. Eastern Oregon, he's EOU football defensive coordinator Bryan Mills. I'm Dodzy. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Bryan. I appreciate it. Let's go. Let's have a season this year. We got, you know, there's work to be done, but I have 100% faith in you guys. None of this is possible without Buffalo Peak Golf Course. Go check them out. Go Union Highway through Union, take a left, go up the hill, and there's a beautiful 18-hole link-style golf course, and you can't beat it for this area. Dana's got it going on out there. Buffalo Peak Golf Course. Meet me at the peak. Eastern Oregon, thanks for tuning in to the EOU football preview, coaches interview, whatever you want to call it. It's just a little look into the 3 new coaches at EOU, and it's super exciting. Football's right around the corner, and it's going to be a great season for the Mounties. Eastern Oregon, I appreciate you. I'm Dodzy, and I'm out.